After my last performance against my old club, Athletic Bilbao, I had to go out for a midnight run to clear my mind. While I did have an amazing performance, even managing to score against my old team and celebrate on their head tops for all the disrespect the fans have been throwing my way, I did manage to also pick up a yellow card, which resulted in me getting a suspension for the last match of the league phase in the Champions League. And while I didn't think too much of this, it started to dawn on me. We could drop down to a playoff spot because of my careless actions, and I've got to do better. So that's why I'm out here disciplining myself and making sure that I do not repeat the same mistakes again. And as we head into match week 23 of the Premier League, Brentford hosting Arsenal, in a match that will surely be another intense match of football. And here's Norgard passing it to Damsgaard. All kinds of guards. Let's see if they can guard Karo. And here's Roger Fernandez finding Karo. And here's Karo now in open space. And he's going to send it over to Bukayo Saka to bury it into the net. Norgard to Almeida. And Almeida right to Rabiot. And Zaire Emery finding Karo. And here's Karo on the ball, looking to display some dribbling skills. Directing Semi to make a run. And here's Semi making a run and putting it into the back of the net. And Arsenal now up 1-0, nice and early into the match. And here's Damsgaard on the ball to Norgard. Zaire Emery heading it down to Rabiot. Nuno passing it over to Karo. Karo to Saka. Bowie finding Rabiot. Denis Karo finding Saka. Saka able to find Kılıçoy. And now Karo finding Saka. Saka cutting back, finding Karo. And this is beautiful football. Denis Karo with a shot, putting it into the back of the net to make it 2. And Brentford can start to forget about a victory here as the Gunners take a 2-0 lead. A beautiful display of football by the team, resulting in another goal. And Arsenal flying high and in the driver's seat. Karo with the interception, but getting the ball taken out of his pocket, and Shad hammering it into the back of the net. And Brentford find themselves back in this match. And Tamayasu lobbing it over to Almeida. Almeida finding Norgard. With just seconds left in this match, Brentford unable to complete a comeback, and Arsenal take the 3 points in this 2-1 victory. And with that victory, we remain in first place with a total of 51 points and a record of 15 wins, 6 draws, and 2 losses. Manchester United hot on our trail, and as we prepare for our match against Stuttgart, remember, Denis Karo has picked up a suspension and will not be able to play, and as a result, Stuttgart picks up the 1-0 victory, which knocks Arsenal down to 10th place in the Champions League standings, which means we're going to have to go into the playoffs. And as we head into match week 24 of the Premier League, Arsenal host Forest. Fratesi to Hudson-Odoi. Oddly passing to Hudson-Odoi. Oddly on the ball once again. Oddly having a shot and almost scoring. Fratesi on the ball. Fratesi to Oddly. Hudson-Odoi finding Madueke. And Madueke to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi with a shot, but Ederson with the save. Karo settling the ball. Still on the ball. Looking to cut back and do a little bit of a spin as he passes to Kılıçoy, who finds Karo once again. Saka on the ball, having a shot, but unable to score. And here's Fratesi. Losing the ball after a tackle from Karo. And Zaire Emery on the ball now, finding Denis Karo. Denis Karo on the ball, having a shot and putting it into the back of the net. And Arsenal now take a 1-0 lead in the 56th minute. courtesy of that man Karo. And Danilo finding Fratesi, but Karo with a brilliant slide tackle. Jota to Adli. Fratesi on the ball. Fratesi passing it to Danilo. Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro taking it through the defense. One by one he goes, having a shot and putting it into the back of the net. How have we just allowed this man to walk through our defense like that? And with just seconds left in the match, Arsenal now need to dig deep. And here's Karo, cutting back, able to get past one. And Karo now finding Yang Min-hyuk. And Yang Min-hyuk passing it to Karo, who does a bit of a turn. And now puts the ball in his left, gets brought down for the free kick. And here we go. We've seen this many times before. Karo hitting a stunner at the end of the match. Can I repeat it? Just lining up the free kick, having a shot. And I really could have done better there. I shot right in the middle of the goal. And unfortunately, we have to collect 1 point in a 1-1 draw, which keeps us at the top of the table with a total of 52 points, as Manchester United have also drawn, bringing their total to 49 points. And it just so happens we have to play Nottingham Forest one more time in our FA Cup fixture. And this match was a very intense match, as Forest was not playing around and they wanted their revenge immediately. And Mitchell was on the ball. And Mitchell cut back. He passed to Hudson-Odoi, and Fratesi now dribbling past Karo, having a shot and putting it into the back of the net as Forest take a 1-0 lead. And Forest taking an early lead, and Karo now looking for answers. And Karo getting past one. Hudson-Odoi on the ball, getting tackled by Rabiot, and now Karo on the ball. Denis Karo getting brought down on the edge of the box, or is that a penalty? Regardless, it's a red card. And now Arsenal have the perfect foundation for a comeback. And it's going to start by me doing right by this free kick and scoring it this time. And I'm going to put it on the outside. Hammer it! Off the bar it goes. Off the corner of one of them. Saka with a brilliant tackle. Denis Karo on the ball, finding Killachoy. Karo now passing the ball to Zaire Emery, who's unable to score, but Karo putting the rebound into the back of the net, bringing Arsenal back into this match. And now Forest have to hold on for dear life as Arsenal look to complete a comeback against a 10-man team. Hudson-Odoi to Adli, and Hudson-Odoi now on the ball once again. Hudson-Odoi passing the ball over to Mitchell. Mitchell on the ball still. Mitchell finding Hudson-Odoi and backheeling it back to Mitchell. And now Karo almost going in for a tackle, and Forrest with a shot off the bar, almost going into the back of the net, almost embarrassing Arsenal. Zaire Emery to Rabiot. Zaire Emery on the ball with a brilliant pass to Saka. Saka unable to find Karo, but Karo finding Saka. And now Bukayo Saka passing it over to Simi, who lays it off for Karo, who puts it into the back of the net with the outside of his foot. And Arsenal now up 2-1 with just 5 minutes left in the match. And now Arsenal in the driving seat, well on their way to the next round of the FA Cup. And here's Karo looking to waste some time popping it up. Karo on the ball still. Denis Karo dribbling with the ball, getting brought down once again. And the match has come to an end. Arsenal pick up a 2-1 victory. And we head into the next round of the FA Cup. And at this point, Arsenal can start to look at Wembley, because that is where we are on our way to if we keep playing this way. And as we head into the first match of the playoff round in the Champions League, Arsenal face off against AS Roma. And of course, this is gonna be no easy match, as Roma is always a tough opponent in Europe. And here's Bove on the ball to Hakimi. Bove to Pellegrini. Pellegrini finding Darwin Núñez, who has a shot. And Ederson is there to put in the rebound. And oh my, this playoff has gotten off to a terrible start, as Arsenal find themselves down 1-0 against Roma. And could our Champions League dream be ending immediately? And here's Dahl. Dahl passing the ball. And Lefty having a shot. Ederson stretching for the save. Here's Karo. Muscling through the defense. Karo still on the ball, having a shot. How did I not score that? Karo very disappointed in himself. And here's Ederson crossing it over. Zaire Emery able to get it away. Hakimi on the ball, bringing it in. Hakimi still on the ball. Back to Pellegrini. Hakimi. Bove having a shot, and oh my, into the top left corner. You cannot make this up. Arsenal are down 2-0 against Roma, and things are looking bleak for Arsenal in the Champions League. Unless Karo can make some magic here immediately and respond. And Karo still on the ball, having a shot. How did I not score? Lefty to Balzani. Pellegrini with a shot, and that would have been it. We're getting absolutely ran here. And here's Karo on the ball. Hasn't been able to do anything all match. And Rabiot able to get the ball to Karo, but he's been useless. Zaire Emery with a terrible shot. Here's Denis Karo with a Ronaldo chop. Karo on the ball still, finding Zaire Emery. Kılıçoy passing it to Karo. Denis Karo through on goal, has a shot, puts it into the back of the net. And Arsenal now back into this tie, as they are only down 2-1 in this fixture. And we have plenty of time in the return leg to mount our comeback. And taking a look at how we did in the Champions League, you can see the results across the board for the first match. And as we shift our focus back to the Premier League, we travel to Wolves in match week 25. And Karo was pissed off about the last match in Roma, and he's on demon time as he has a shot right here, almost managing to score. And Denis Karo now getting the ball from Zaire Emery. Karo finding Kılıçoy. Kılıçoy finding an offside Karo, who smashes it beautifully and elegantly into the top right corner. Oh my. Karo heading the ball to Saka. Saka sending Karo through. And Karo able to get the ball. Denis Karo through on goal, having a shot with his left foot. I would call it his weak foot, but we know he doesn't have a weak foot. And his shot is picture perfect as Arsenal go up 1-0. But as Billy Mays would say, but wait, there's more. As Karo finds Saka, and Saka finds Kılıçoy, who finds Karo, and Karo with a brilliant turn through on goal, having a shot and putting the Gunners up 2-0 before the half. And Denis Karo doing brilliantly to put Arsenal up 2-0. And in the 69th minute, Karo was feeling relentless once again and bringing down Strand Larsen. And Karo managing not to pick up a red card right there. And Kılıçoy cutting back, finding Rabiot. Saka on the ball, finding Arnau. Arnau cutting back with a brilliant back heel to Karo, who's brought down for a penalty. And Karo now with the opportunity to complete a wonderful hat-trick against Wolves. And you can bet the house that I'm going to score it into the top right corner. Karo's been missing a lot of penalties lately. This one, he managed to score and do a bit of voodoo to send the team down to the ground as Arsenal pick up a 3-0 victory against Wolves. And with that victory, Arsenal remain in first place in the Premier League with a total of 55 points. And Manchester United hot on our trail with 52 points, just 3 points below the Gunners. And as we head into match 2 of the playoff round in the Champions League, Arsenal host Roma. And Arsenal, of course, down 2-1 on aggregate. But we have the chance to turn that around. We have 90 minutes to make some magic happen. And Balzani to Lefi. And Lefi to Ederson. This guy killed us last match. But Karo able to tackle him and get the ball off him. And Karo calling for the ball. Passing it to Saka. Saka finding Roger Fernandez, who finds Karo. Karo getting through the defense, putting it into the bottom right corner. And Arsenal back into the tie. 2-2. And we still have 80 more minutes to play at the Emirates Stadium. And look at these Arsenal fans going absolutely crazy. And Bove to Lefi. And here's Rabiot finding Fernandez. Kilichoy laying it off for Denis Karo. Karo with some brilliant skill moves, dribbling past the entire Roma defense and topping it off with a chip. Unable to score and looking like a prick. Lefi getting the ball stripped off it by Denis Karo. And here's Karo getting brought down. And Ederson is gonna pick himself up a yellow card. And Karo bend it like Denis. Here we go. And what a weak ass shot by Denis Karo. Never again. Darwin to Ederson, who's been yellow carded. Kilichoy able to get the ball to Karo. Saka now has Karo in open space. Denis Karo through on goal, acres of space, smashing it into the bins. And Arsenal up 2-0 in this match, 3-2 on aggregate. A brilliant goal by the main man, assisted by the star boy. What more can you ask for? And Arsenal now up 2-0 in this match. And with just seconds left in this match, Roma look out of answers. And Arsenal look like they will be heading into the round of 16 in the Champions League. And Karo's Champions League dream is still alive. A fantastic result for the Gunners puts us into the round of 16 in the Champions League, where we will face off against AC Milan, which is the team that won the Champions League in the last season when Arsenal and Karo were busy winning the Europa League. And you can see the other matches across the board in this bracket made by yours truly. And in the Premier League, we remain at the top of the table with a total of 55 points and a record of 16 wins, 7 draws, and only 2 losses. Manchester United breathing down our necks, only 3 points behind. Can we keep our spot at the top of the Premier League table and defend our Premier League title? I guess time will only tell. Taking a look at the next episode, you can expect some intense fixtures as we head off to Milan to play in the Champions League. This has been Dennis from Climbing Gaming. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Have yourself a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.